there's a new Star Trek coming out, Star Trek Picard, and it has Lieutenant Commander Data in it, the android in it. And so I just got lucky that I happened to be watching an old Star Trek clip from the episode called A Measure of a Man, where Riker is cross-examining Data, asking him about his how much memory capacity and processing capacity. And I said, oh, that would be cool to compare Data to today's supercomputers, because he's supposed to be from like 2300, 2350, something like that. So how good was their extrapolation? That episode was from 1989. So let's take a look.
Commander, what is the capacity of your memory, and how fast can you access information?
I have an ultimate storage capacity of 800 quadrillion bits. My total linear computational speed has been rated at 60 trillion operations per second.
So if you compare what Data said, he said that he had a speed of 60 trillion operations per second. So let's just round that up to 100 trillion. So 100 trillion is 10 to the 14th. So 10 to the 14th operations per second is around here. So like we're talking 2005 technology. So I'm looking at the fastest supercomputer in the world. So that does mean that would be a gigantic thing, like taking up an entire room and requiring a computer center. But, you know, it's definitely attainable as far as a supercomputer goes in 2005. Data was found by Starfleet in 2338, so we're talking way over here. So here's the just the beginning. Like he's 10 to the 14th, so operations per second, way down here. So in the 2300s, we're talking like 10 to the 100 operations per second, 10 to the 90 operations per second, which is something we can't even really understand how fast that is. But so they didn't really do a good job extrapolating it. So Data said he was 60 trillion operations per second, which is 60 teraflops. So that was kind of like 2005 supercomputer technology, and he's from 2338, so they didn't do a good job there. Also, if you remember, in 2011, there was this Watson supercomputer that IBM made that played Jeopardy and actually beat two Jeopardy computers. So Watson, I looked it up, was about 80 teraflops. So, and that's 2011. So Data was 60 teraflops and Watson's 80 teraflops. So already Watson's beating Data. So I don't think they did a good job estimating that, because Data seems much more sophisticated than Watson. Like Watson can only answer Jeopardy questions, where Data can have a conversation and seems much more capable. Now let's address Data's storage. Data said he was 800 quadrillion bits. So there's 8 bytes per bit. So that's 100 quadrillion bytes, which is 100 petabytes. Now that's pretty big. Like the big file systems connected to big supercomputers today in 2019 are of that order, 100 petabytes, 200 petabytes. So that's the giant room full of computers with a mechanical robotic arm with farms and farms of hard drive. But still, it's only 2019, and we already can match the storage capacity of Data. So hundreds of years in the future, we can't even imagine how big the capacity will be. So the point is, they really lowballed Data. They didn't take into account, exponential extrapolation, and we really cannot imagine what the technology will be like in 2300. So let's look at the speed of Lieutenant Data. He's 60 teraflops. So that's about the same as the 2005 fastest supercomputer. Or in 2019, that's just about 9 GPUs. So that's like nothing. He's from the 2300s, where we can do that with 9 GPUs in 2019. And I mean, even the Watson supercomputer of 2011 that won Jeopardy, he was 30%, or it was 30% faster than Data. And so like the fastest supercomputer in the world now is like 2,000 times faster than Data. So they really messed that one up. I mean, this computing resources, 60 teraflops, would not be enough to have his consciousness and his ability. There's no way at all that it could do that. His software is very sophisticated. His hardware just simply can't keep up with it. Now his storage, 100 petabytes. Well, that's on the order of what we have at world-class supercomputing centers today, high-performance file systems. And another way to think about it, if you record 100 years an HD video, that's about 5 petabytes, which I guess will be happening and soon. People will start recording everything. So that's only about 20 lifetimes of recording if you could record every frame of your life in HD. So that doesn't seem that big. The human brain is around 100 terabytes, so data is about 1,000 times, has about 1,000 times more capacity than human brain. And then YouTube, they're just way far beyond that. So they really lowballed their estimate. This was their estimates from, or their predictions from 1989, and I just don't think they're very accurate. They need to be way more extravagant in their description of Lieutenant Data. Thank you very much.